Audio levels full volume. It's go time.
Broadcasting from the most powerful city in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the Power Table.
This is
The Power Table with Teresa Marie and the LBD.
Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is another episode of the Power Table.
It's the Power Table. I'm Teresa Marie.
I am yours truly, the little big daddy, the LBD. Let me tell you something, Teresa.
Tell me something else.
I'm looking internally and I'm trying to be more holistic in my life. And I'm trying to be holistic in my eating habits as well.
Okay, do you know what that means?
I'm going to ask my brother Blake, a.k.a. Benevolent Blizz, for a little bit of help on that.
That's right. Blizzy stopped by the station to talk to us about holistic living, and we're not talking about like a whole piece of pie.
No. We ain't talking about that milkshake, candy, or cake either.
Right. We're talking about, whole natural foods and how to get our bodies in line with that. And I think that's good for the fall season.
Wellness is all about this episode. So here's our conversation with Blake, a.k.a.
Blizzy.
Benevolent Blizz.
The Power Table.
We are in the holiday season, and we have a tendency to be gluttonous. Is that a word?
Gluttony is a word. I have to look up gluttonous, but it sounded good.
Yeah. Well,
we eat too much.
We have a tendency to overindulge, so we got to understand how we need to eat the right way for longevity.
Yeah, I like that.
So I got my mans in them here. His name is Blake, a.k.a. Benevolent.
Blizzy.
Yeah, Blizzy.
Aloha.
Benevolent Blizz is in the building, man. How
Hello,
are you?
I'm very well, very well. I'm very honored, and it's a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure to be in
It
your
is
presence,
really
brother.
good to see you. So
Thank
we
you,
are
thank you.
switching the seasons here. We're getting to the holiday season, and I know you deal with holistic health.
Yes.
How can we have that when we have like these holidays ahead of us? What do we do, Blizzy?
Well, the first thing you do, I always tell people, is to arm yourself with information, that will help you not be so inclined to disrespect yourself like that if you knew what you were better understanding of what you put in your body. And then from there, you lean on plant-based alternatives is probably the best idea. I mean, we got stuffed kind of tofurkeys and all kinds of things going on out here I'm seeing. So you really...
Tofurkey?
Some kind of stuffed meat replicate kind of thing, It looks pretty tasty. I've never had it, but...
So we should not be eating the meat replacements, the plant-based meats?
well, they're a good transition stepping stone, but if you really want to dig deep and you really want me to be honest, I don't recommend those so much, more in moderation. But to get you through the holiday season, if you are in a transitional place and you want to, make it a little healthier, you can lean on some of those foods, though. And they have everything under the sun, which if I didn't tell you it was vegan, you probably wouldn't even know the difference kind of vibe to them.
Now, let me ask you something, okay? We have a tendency to eat the wrong things because there's a lot of processed stuff out there. And people have a tendency to get more sick than they do healthy.
Yes.
So what are the things that we need to, when we go shopping? I'm going to shopping after we leave here today. What are some of the things that we need to look out for a more healthier lifestyle?
All right, that's a great question. So the first thing I would recommend is sticking to the produce section for the bulk of your shopping as much as you can. So you're buying things that are the ingredient, the onion, the head of whatever leafy green, the potato, rather than a list of ingredients in one packaged product. So staying away from processed foods, sticking to whole foods, and, I do recommend trying to, go as organic as you can, because if it's not organic, you may have to panic because it may be sprayed with some heavy synthetic pesticides. So, those would be my kind of main recommendations, I guess.
Is there a way to look at the labels, or is it really truly organic because it says that on the label?
Well, so the labels can be very tricky, very crafty. So what I always recommend to people is definitely do not look at the label, or I should say don't stop at looking at the label. The backside where the ingredients lay, or wherever the ingredients list, is most important rather than the label, because the label can trick you. And the organic system is not perfect, but I still believe that it is a bit night and day from flat out what they like to call conventional, which pretty much means sprayed with synthetic pesticides and things of that nature.
Did you always eat this way? How were you able to transition into becoming holistic?
Yeah, so no, I did not. I had a pretty average, how they like to say, standard American diet, which stands for SAD, or acronyms for SAD by coincidence.
I like that.
But that's why I tell people to switch from a SAD diet, with DIET, into a vegan live vet based on life. Switching from death on your plate, and switching to a more life based. But I got into, to answer your question, the lifestyle. I guess through my child's birth. Looking more into things from there led me down rabbit holes of food as nutrition, food as medicine. Mm-hmm. And just kind of dug all the way in from there, I guess you would say.
Explain your background. Like what makes you get into the whole holistic eating and knowing and doing the research about diets and nutrition?
Well, I guess, like many people that dive into a lot of kind of more occult, hidden information, they feel like the information needs to be shared, kind of like it's a civil duty, a public servant duty, to everyone else. So that's kind of how it happened to me. I acquired a lot of information due to being, always working for myself and not being locked down to the 9 to 5. And, that's how they keep a lot of people trapped is, they don't have enough time to even catch their breath to look into health information, much less there's so much conflicting information. So I was fortunate enough to have time on my hands to dive deep. Once I did acquire a lot of information, I felt like it was my duty to share it with everybody I knew. Preaching kind of I learned push some people away, and I just continued on my own path and led by example, and then the people started to pretty much come back to me.
So you do holistic health coaching,
and mental wellness coaching. Yep, I do live classes. I do just almost finished with some online courses for people that can't attend the live courses. And I wrote several books, the first of which will be available this month.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I like that. I'm excited about that.
Holiday time, we get around the family. It's a time with celebration and festivities. Everybody has their own different ways of eating. I'm going to be with my family, but I want to start, trying to purge myself of the toxins in my body. What are some of the things that, if I'm going to eat with my family this holiday season, some of the things that I might want to partake in, and some of the things I might want to stay away from?
Okay, so if you want me to just be flat out honest with you, you want to partake in those veggies, those green beans. Maybe even if you're not full-fledged vegan, you're just trying to get there, you do the green bean casserole or whatever the case may be. But we're opting away from the things that look like they once were living and now they're burnt and dead. AKA the animals. So we want to stay away from the animal products and lean towards the veggies. So if you go to dinner with, like a Thanksgiving gathering, there are always going to be plenty of vegetable sides, hopefully, and that's a good way to start. You could lean on the veggies and steer away from some of those animal products would be my recommendation.
Is it hard to go cold turkey? You like my
I like the pun.
Live turkey, live cold turkey. But so I do like that pun though. But I guess it would depend on the person, honestly. Because I kind of went cold turkey, not flat out. I watched Forks Over Knives, and I said, "Whoa!" And I'm never buying meat again. So I never bought it again. But maybe I would eat some seafood here, there, out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessarily cold turkey, but I went cold turkey from ever buying it again in a supermarket. But some people, it is more of a process. I always tell people I think it's harder to walk that line of 90, 99%, because you're back and forth teetering the line rather than just committing fully 100% to something. So I think that can keep people trapped a lot of times trying to not fully commit.
What I'm hearing you say also is that you have to make a choice. And you have to have a plan, but you may not know what to do. And this is where you come in. You can step in and help them kind of guide them on what's good for them, what they should eat, and how to transition from, the diet or what did you call it? To the
live vet. Yes, ma'am. There you go. So we all need help, I think. The information didn't fall out the sky into my lap. It took me years to acquire and years to apply on top of that. The knowledge is one thing. applying it is another thing, which comes to wisdom. You know, the knowledge is applied knowledge equals wisdom, right? So, you know, I learned from elders just the same, you know, so it has to be passed on. Or, you know, you can, like I said, if you have the time and if the information is out there, but I come in a place where I can consolidate a vast amount of information that was, you know, not so easy to acquire and apply to make sure that it's tested and tried and trued. And kind of hold your hand and show you how, because even in the health community, there's a lot of booby traps, you know, so kind of have to have a firm understanding if you really want to take it to the next level.
On a regular day, and, you know, what times should we be eating? How often should we be eating? And what are some of the things that we should be eating? Because I know we had a talk off the air about, you know, there's a certain cycles that your body goes through. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I would love to. That's a great question, and that's something that I like to base kind of my whole teachings and protocols on is your circadian rhythm. Okay, so I'll break it down very simply into 3 8-hour cycles in the 24-hour day. First, we'll start at your morning elimination cycle from 4 a.m. to noon is your elimination cycle every day based on the sun and moon, the day and the night. Okay, I didn't make these things up. And this is the time where you want to be eliminating via pee, poop, sweat, and things of this nature, okay, from the night before. So you set yourself up for failure big time when you come in the morning and you break your fast with solid foods. The minute you put solid foods into your mouth, the healing process also immediately stops. So if we assist the body in the elimination process with fresh juices and water and teas and fruits, this not only helps with the elimination process, but it gives our vital organs a break to continue healing. It has many, many benefits. You know, it sheds weight off you. And also it's unscientific to break any fast with heavy food. So every night we go on a fast. That's why it's called break fast, breakfast. So you want to ease into the fast with, you know, hydrating foods, not bog yourself back down. You'll set your whole day up for gluttony, and you'll literally expand your stomach, and you'll be hungrier all day. Now, you move on to 12 noon to 8 p.m. is your building cycle. So in that time, you can come in with any amount, for the most part, of pure plant-based whole foods. You can't really go wrong if they're not processed foods. That's your building time. And then from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is the time where you want to cut off all intake, and that's your rest and rejuvenation period. So that's where you want to allow your food to process and try to get to bed, you know, at a reasonable time. Because there's intricacies within these 24 hours. At 2 a.m., you should be, you know, getting your deepest sleep. You know, at certain hours, your certain organs are working most efficiently, and so on. So you could look into each intricacy on your own time, but those are the main 8 that you want to try to keep in mind. Elimination morning, building midday, you know, rest and rejuvenation at night. And just one last thing on that. Those with the graveyard shift have, unfortunately, a higher incident of mortality and a lower longevity rate. So if you go against your circadian rhythm, you know, unfortunately, it's not the best look for yourself.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And how many times do we have to eat throughout the day, though?
You know, I think, you know, heavy protein, you know, basically I think it's been overrated that we need to eat a little bit more than we actually do.
Yeah, because I've been hearing like 6 times a day.
Man, you know, now I was so.
And I hear that too, especially if you have to regulate your sugar or things like that. So you definitely want to check with your doctor about what you need to eat and how you need to eat, because some of that is specified to certain conditions.
That is a very good point, because I have some clients and they have to wake up maybe, you know, sometimes in the middle of the night, just get their little drink or swig or whatever this is to make sure their, you know, blood is looking correct and things like that. So you definitely want to, you know, base it on your individual case, you know, but for the most part, overeating leads to a lot of problems, because, you know, every time we eat, it puts our vital organs through a lot of work to break down and digest the food. So, you know, as opposed to fasting heals. So anytime you're maybe sick, think about when you have a common cold, the flu, are you starving, or do you not even want to eat much at all, right? You don't want to eat much at all because your body's telling you to allow us to heal. We're not hungry right now, you know. So that's my take on. So to answer your question, less than you've been told would be my answer.
And ideally between the hours of 12 and 8.
And ideally between the hours of 12 and 8. Yep. You know, it's a general window. You know, it's not a perfect world. If you're hungry, you know, 10, 11, maybe break it with some high liquid fruit or something of that nature, you know. But definitely don't want to come in. Think of the difference between, you know, like a processed meat, which is a proven class 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization, and then something like, you know, fresh fruit with tons of vitamins and minerals, you know, like night and day difference right there. So
what fruits shall we be eating and which vegetables shall we be eating? Because everybody says something different. So
yeah, so you know, again, high hydrating, high liquid fruits, in my opinion, are some of the best. Berries are a really good option, but you know, you want to eat things with seeds as well. If, you know, we have a saying: if it's not seeded, we don't eat it. You know, if it's not seeded, I don't eat it. So
GMOs.
Yeah, you know, kind of along those lines, playing God and things like that with the food, and basically those foods lack. Or you know, they're inferior to organic and seeded fruits, and for the mineral content and the vitamin content. I mean, it's just a proven fact when they test the foods.
Now, when people say that I'm going on a fast, is fast? I know we talked about circadian rhythms and, you know, fasting between the hours of 8 and 4 in the morning. Did you say?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, 8 p.m. the next night till 12 noon.
12 noon.
So it'd be, you know, 18:6 is pretty much.
So
how
when
they go.
people say they want to fast throughout the day or they fast for a few days and drink only water, I've seen people do that. Is that good for your body?
To go on a water fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, definitely, but you know that may not be for everyone. So you want to make sure that you're ready for that. That's more extreme, the water fast. So there's levels.
Say, yeah, because that's like shocking your body, right?
Juice fast, you know, it's kind of like the a good middle ground, you know. And then you have something like a water fast, you know, and then you have something like a dry fast people go on. So there's kind of like levels of where water is more to the extreme. And you know, true intermittent fasting means only consuming water or tea, something with no calories during that time window. So technically, you know, juice would break an intermittent fast. You know, so technically, if you're only consuming juice, you are breaking your fast because it does have minute calories and fiber. But you know, if you really want to take it there and you think you can handle it, a water fast is definitely not a bad idea. You know, that's how people really get down to healing themselves, is going on water fast. But it's again, it's not for everyone at every. You know, it's not for you. You want to make sure it's for you at this stage of your life and point of your health status and stuff.
What about people who talk about their juicing? What's the best juicing to do, and can you do that as a meal replacement?
Yeah, so basically juicing is a staple in my protocol as well. So when we talk about going back to that morning period, I have a saying, you know, that says, excuse my language, but we want to wash our insides better than we do our ass, right? So we get this external shower, we wash our armpits and our butt and all this stuff every morning, but, you know, sometimes we forget about the inside. So coming in with those juices is like giving your body an internal shower. Also the chlorophyll from green juice. Chlorophyll, you know, some people call it plant blood, and it's almost identical to your human blood. The only difference is, you know, your human blood is iron-based at the center, and your plant blood is magnesium-based at the center. But if you were to Google an image, it's pretty cool to look up on your own time. They have identical structure. So this is like giving your body your blood a blood transfusion every morning. Chlorophyll is something that a lot of us are lacking in, and most of us are lacking in our diet. Even when we do get the chlorophyll, we cook the life out of the vegetables, you know, and we're not even cooking enough of the life, you know, we're not even starting with enough of the base to even cook the life out of it, you know. So we're putting a tiny bit of vegetables in our, you know, maybe it's the afterthought on the meal, and then we cook all the life out of it. So coming in with the juices is like a supplement for things that we're lacking. Also, the soil is depleted. So the food is lacking in minerals like it once was. So this is a way to concentrate abundance of what you may be lacking in almost any diet that you're on.
So when we see like the books that say juicing with kale and spinach and things like these are good greens to start with, or you can pretty much, those are pretty much in line with where we should go with juicing.
Yeah. So with juicing, you really
Berries
can't go wrong.
And,
you can kind of throw anything in the juicer. What I don't recommend, though, is throwing too many fruits in the juicer, because when you juice, you do discard fiber and you do concentrate fructose. So we don't want to do that so much, but things like green apple, kiwi, citrus fruit, you know, we can throw in our green juices, or we can juice like a pineapple juice, you know. But for, you know, we don't want to go crazy with fruits. So we don't want to juice like something like a melon, which is mainly mainly water and fructose.
Right.
But for the most part, you can just do your thing with the juices. Now, your leafy greens are something that you definitely want to juice. So kale, Swiss chards, dandelion greens, bok choys, things like this.
Yeah, those are good vegetables. That's a good list right there. Yeah.
Now, alkaline versus acidic. Now, it's stated that if the more your body is neutral or alkalinic, if I'm using I'm using the alkaline.
You should explain what that means, though. So alkaline means what?
Well, alkaline means that your body is more basic, neutral. Like if you look at a pH scale, I think 7 is neutral. And if your body is more acidic, that means that it's more conducive to diseases.
Right.
Yes,
I understand, but people listening may not know.
This is true.
Right. Know what that is.
So what are some of the things that we should do to make our bodies more efficient to fight off diseases? I mean, cancer is continuously on the rise in this country. So what are some of the things we should do?
Well, going back to what we just spoke about, that juice and the chlorophyll is a very big deal for you to stay in an alkaline state. Those are some of the most alkaline foods. For the most part, a food that is richer in minerals than it is in sugar content is going to be an alkaline forming food or fruit or produce or whatever the case may be. So something like a lemon you may think is sour, or lime. It has more minerals in it than it does sugar, so it's going to be actually alkaline forming in your body. So you want to stick to foods like this to keep your body in an alkaline state. And it was a pretty good breakdown of what you said. Your body works hard to keep it just above 7.0. It goes to 14 in the most highest alkaline state and 0 at the lowest acidity state or acid state. And again, exactly, once you move on to that acid state is when diseases occur. Acid, has to do with mucus and inflammation, and alkaline has to do more so with healing. But I always tell people there's a condition as acidosis, but there's also such a thing as alkalosis. So I recommend more of like an 80-20, but just as much alkaline in your diet as you can would be best.
And these are some of the things that you can help with coaching and getting, people who come to talk with you about eating better and transition into a holistic lifestyle. They'll get a better understanding of that.
Yes, for sure.
And you feel better.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. The proof is in the pudding. So, it's... you can't pull the wool over to anybody's face but for so long, right? So this it's a wave for a reason, because people are healing themselves.
I think you've said some important things there when you talk about healing and balancing the body internally and externally. It's a lot that I think on a day-to-day basis we miss because of the hustle and bustle of our day. We don't really get a chance to say, okay, what do I really need to do? And then we'll try, then we'll stop. And so coaching, I think what you're doing in that area is a blessing because people can get the coaching that they need and the insight. If you've done the legwork, and your certification for that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
you have
that's
to,
good.
the client has to want it, that's the main deal, I mean, that's the biggest part, you can tell them all the jewels and tools and keys, but they have to want it and they have to apply it. But together, for sure, you can reach your health goals at any stage of where you're laying right now in health.
Blizzy is the coolest.
Oh, he laid back, man. That's that good eating that's going on,
That
right?
is like the feng shui, the
hey, no doubt.
What do you call it? The yin, the yang. You got it.
So you are what you eat,
Yeah, and, you got it. He is like the coolest, laid back person, y'all. That vibe is good.
Well, I appreciate that.
So,
that's very kind
if people want to get some coaching from you, how can they find you?
So they can reach me through my website, which is it's sort of under reconstruction, but it's up and it's live, and that is the word Benevolent, BENEVOLENT. Blizz, BLIZZ, benevolentblizz.com. And the Instagram is the same. It's just an underscore in between the word benevolent and the word Blizz. Benevolent_Blizz at Instagram.
And you got tips on the Instagram too.
Yes, a lot of free game, as they like to say on there. A lot of free knowledge, a wealth of knowledge on the page alone. Yes, for sure. And I help just about every DM that comes my way, and I try to get to every question that's worth an energy exchange, and I'm not, sometimes the trolls even get me too.
Blake be popping, boy. He be popping on that benevolent Blizz. The trolls be getting at you, huh?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, they're everywhere, and I guess they say, when they come out from the woodworks when you got a little bit, more things going on. I guess.
They'll show up.
That's that acid.
Keep doing what you're doing.
That's that acid.
That was good.
Exactly. That's that acid in the diet.
That's that acid. Hey, Blake, man, we appreciate that. We want to make this an ongoing thing with you, man.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd be honored to. Yes, I listen to this station all the time, so it'd be an honor to, come full circle back home, so to speak. Yeah.
Give that Instagram one more time. One more again, brother.
It's the word benevolent, which I know is a hard word to spell, but if you just type in BENE, the rest should come up. It's BENEVOLENT_Blizz. The word benevolent _Blizz, and the website is the same minus the underscore on the website. One word for the website.
The Power Table.
When we talk to Blake here, I feel so terrible because my diet is atrocious.
Oh my gosh, me too. I left out the studio like, man, I gotta get myself together.
Yeah, I gotta get my game up, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to buy a new juicer.
Yeah, we gotta do something. Look at these labels or something. But big shout out to my friend Blake Carter, aka Benevolent Blizz. Make sure you follow him on social media. But in the meantime, it's time.
It's time for the tea.
Let's take it from the top.
Who needs water cooler talk?
Boring.
Listen. She has the tea. Come and get it while it's hot. It's the tea with Teresa Marie.
All right, of course, one of the top trending stories is the sad news about Kim Porter and her death. Kim Porter, model, actress, ex-girlfriend of Diddy, mother of 3 of his children. She has a son, Quincy, by I'll Be Sure. She passed away on November 15th on a Thursday. The reports are saying that she had been suffering from flu-like symptoms, pneumonia. Additional information came in that was shared by law enforcement's source to TMZ, said that Kim Porter went to bed early. She was not feeling well. And when family members tried to wake her Thursday, she was unresponsive. Porter was pronounced dead at home by paramedics. Foul play is not suspected. However, the Los Angeles coroner has called for an additional investigation. So she was 47.
Yeah, that's way too young to be dying, and hopefully they can find out what the exact cause of death was. I mean, I know we just talked to Blake about eating healthy and being healthy, and I don't want to put that on her.
We just don't know because she looks healthy. Right?
Yeah, but looking healthy doesn't necessarily mean you are healthy.
That you're healthy, right. And I understand there were some reports about she had called the doctor the day before, saying that she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, I was hearing that she was under some sort of doctor's care. I don't know what the extent of that is, but I feel terrible for Diddy, Quincy, the 2 twin daughters, Jesse James and Delilah, and also sad. Christian, man. I mean, they lost their mom real young.
And around the holidays. Oh, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be real
going to be tough. So prayers continued prayers out to family and friends of Kim Porter. All right, we're going to switch gears. Let's talk about former President Barack Obama, and he surprised former First Lady Michelle Obama with a bouquet of flowers when he stopped by a promotion event for Mrs. Obama's memoir,
Relationship Goals.
Right. So she has a memoir out called Becoming. And during his visit, he jokingly compared himself with Jay-Z at a Beyonce concert, saying, quote, "This is like, when Jay-Z comes out during the Beyonce concert, like Crazy in Love." He was referring to, how Jay comes out. Yeah. Right. So he goes on to say, it's the same thing. It's just a little sample to enhance the concert.
Well, let me tell you like this. I've been seeing, I didn't have the fortune to go to the actual event, but I saw a lot of individuals on social media posting, and the response for both Michelle when she came out and did her thing, and when Barack was a surprise guest, was phenomenal.
Right.
And those two are definitely, I made a joke about it, but they are definitely relationship goals. Yeah. And they are both forever president and forever first lady.
Forever ever?
Forever. Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about increase in the DMV, and we're talking about 25,000 jobs that's coming to Crystal City because Amazon is moving its HQ2 headquarters to Crystal City.
Big.
This is what gets me, though. They're not calling it Crystal City.
Nah.
They're calling it National Landing.
I guess if you got to make a certain amount of money, you can change the name of the city. Look what they did with Oxon Hill and National Harbor in Oxon
Fort
Hill,
Washington.
Maryland.
Yeah. It has an Oxon Hill address, but they call it National Harbor.
Yeah, here in the DMV.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think that's cool. I'm interested in seeing how this is going to enhance our community, though, what kind of jobs it'll be providing in the DMV. Hopefully that will increase. I mean, if you get to change the name to National Landing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
how big is this thing going to be?
Well, hopefully I can get my deliveries from Amazon Prime in a day when it's supposed to 2 days.
You
know
can
what I'm
get it
saying?
in a day now. Can't you get it in a day now?
I think you can. I'm not sure.
Well, we're doing same-day delivery when you come here.
No doubt.
All right, that's the tea.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, we had a great time on this episode. And look, we got it going on. We got future episodes coming up. Just turn us up. Go to mymagicdc.com to find out when our future episodes are. And we'll see y'all in the next episode.
It's the Power Table.
Hit us up on the gram.
Follow the LBD on Instagram at @the_LBD1 and Teresa Marie at I am Teresa Marie.
On my timeline.
Thank you for having a seat at the Power Table.